Hello everyone. In this video we're going to be going over how to add mixed numbers. The first question we're going to go over today is 4 and 6 over 7 plus 2 and 1 over 7. When we're adding mixed numbers, first we can add the whole numbers together. 4 plus 2 is 6. Then we need to add the fractions together. 6 over 7 plus 1 over 7. Since both of these fractions have the same denominator, you can add the numerators. 6 plus 1 is 7. And when we're adding two fractions, the denominator stays the same. 7 divided by 7 is 1. So when we're adding mixed numbers, we add the whole numbers together and we add the fractions together. And once you have the result of each of those sums, then you can add both of those together. So we're going to have 6 plus 1, which equals 7. If you're unsure on how to add fractions, watch my video above. The second question that we're going to go over today is 1 and 1 over 6 plus 1 over 6. Now here the second fraction does not have a whole number. Therefore, it's not a mixed number. So we can almost say that there's a 0 there. 1 plus 0 would be 1. And now we need to add the two fractions together. 1 over 6 plus 1 over 6. Since these two fractions have the same denominator, the denominator will stay the same, and we need to add the numerators. And we're going to get that 1 plus 1 is 2. And finally, 2 over 6. Both of these numbers are divisible by 2. If we divide the top by 2, 2 divided by 2 is 1. If we divide the bottom by 2, 6 divided by 2 is 3. And so we're going to get that 1 and 1 over 6 plus 1 over 6 equals 1 plus 1 over 3, which is the same as 1 and 1 over 3. For the next question, we have 3 and 1 over 4 plus 4 and 1 over 3. So first we can add the two whole numbers together. 3 plus 4 we know is 7. And to add the fractions together, we have 1 over 4 plus 1 over 3. But in this scenario, the denominators do not have the same number. The fractions don't have the same denominator. So we need to think about the least common denominator so we can add these two fractions together. In this case, we can just multiply the two denominators. 4 times 3 is 12. So the new denominator for each fraction will be 12. We need to think about how do we get from 4 to 12. We have to multiply by 3. And what we do to the bottom, we also have to do to the top. So 1 over 4 is going to become 3 over 12. For 1 over 3, we need to think about how 3 becomes 12. We get 3 from 3 to 12 by multiplying by 4. And what we do to the bottom, we also do to the top. 1 over 3 becomes 4 over 12. And once we have the denominators the same, we can add the numerators. 3 plus 4 is 7 over 12. We get the sum of the whole numbers, which is 7. And we add that to the sum of the fractions, which will be 7 over 12. And this will be 7 and 7 over 12. The last question for today will be 2 and 5 over 8 plus 1 and 2 over 3. Once again, when we're adding mixed numbers, we're going to add the whole numbers together first. 2 plus 1 is 3. Then we're going to add the fractions together. 5 over 8 plus 2 over 3. If you don't know how to add fractions with unlike denominators, please make sure to watch my video on adding fractions with unlike denominators. It's right here in the card above. So to add these two fractions, we need the same denominator. In this case, we can multiply both numbers together. 8 times 3 is 24. And this ends up being our least common denominator. This will not always be the case. We need to think about how to get from 8 to 24. We need to multiply by 3. And what we do to the bottom, we also need to do to the top. 5 times 3 is 15. And now we need to figure out the numerator of the second fraction. How do we get from 3 to 24? We need to multiply by 8. And what we do to the bottom, we also need to do to the top. 3 times 8 is 24. 2 times 8 is 16. And these two fractions added together, the denominator stays the same. And for the numerator, 15 plus 16 will be 31. This is an improper fraction. 24 goes into 31 one time, and there will be 7 remaining out of 24. So we can add 3 plus 1 and 7 over 24. In this instance, all we need to do is add the whole numbers together. 3 plus 1 is 4, and 7 over 24. If you learned something in this video, please make sure to subscribe. And a very important video for this video specifically is the video that I'm showing here. So please make sure that you watch this video on adding fractions with unlike denominators. And I'll see you in the next one.